2, 3. How's everyone doing today? We're going to get started in a little bit. Just want to make sure everything is working. Regarding sounds, if you're here, just type in a 1. Post this. Check on that later. Today we're going to go over more constipation problems and how to fix it. A lot of people have constipation problems over the world. And yesterday I did a presentation for this, but I found some additional information that could be helpful on your journey to recover your health. Alright, so as we're talking about chronic constipation, which is constipation in general, let's first define it. Now, if you're not going to the bathroom on a regular basis, I'm talking about predictable bowel movements every single day, you're constipated. Your constipation, it could be 1 day, 2 days, and if you don't take good care of it, if you don't resolve it, 2 days will become 3 days. 3 days will become 4. 4 days will become 5 days. Some people, they go into a whole week without going to the bathroom, and they think somehow that is okay. I'm going to share with you how that is not okay, and you need to fix it as early as possible. I don't care how old you are. If you're watching this video, you may be in your late teens, your early 20s. If you're struggling with any form of constipation to any degree, you need to first understand some human physiology. When we start thinking about human physiology, it may be a little bit intimidating because you're looking at this picture, you don't know what you're looking at. Oftentimes, people that have problems with their health, they go to the doctors. Doctors show them all these different scans. Nobody knows what the hell they're looking at because we've never been taught. When we never taught ourselves what this is all about. Now I'm just going to share with you, when we're specifically talking about the digestive system, I'm going to look at this photo first, taking a quick look. So here you have your eating through your mouth, down the esophagus, and it's going to go into your stomach. Now over here, your digestive enzyme is going to come in and break down the food. The food is going to enter your small intestines next, which is 4.5 meters. This is a very long pipe. Think of it as a very long piece of pipework. Then food is going to get pushed into your large intestine, which is another 1.5 meters in length. To put it into perspective, so you have 4.5 meters, small intestines, followed by your large intestines, 1.5 meters. You have 6 meters total. Now, from the floor to that basketball rim is 10 feet off the floor. I'm going to find you guys some photos on basketballs. Okay, so we're looking at a basketball player. They're shooting the hoop. They're playing basketball, right? So from that floor to that basketball rim, is 10 feet off the floor, is slightly over 3 meters. The combined length of your small and large intestines is 2 of them. It's 2 of them, so just imagine this. You got 1 hoop and 2 hoops, and this combined length is the combined length of your small and large intestines. That's how long it is. What you eat through your mouth, you must go out the back as elimination. Okay, you gotta poop it out. A lot of people cannot perform this very, very basic function, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about different medical conditions And I'm going to tie it back into constipation because I think there is all connected to constipation one way or another. I'm going to share a lot of information with you that is off your radar screen. And I've been doing these different types of protocols for my own personal health for the last couple of years, and it's helped me tremendously. Just want to share with the world. In addition, none of this is professional medical advice, science treatment. Always see the advice for professionals, healthcare professionals, with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. So this is the digestive system. We're looking at this, and I want you to think of it like this instead. Because you're looking at this photo, you got all these other organs, and in future videos, we'll talk about them. But over here, you're just focused on this specific pipework and how you can clean it out. So food goes down to your mouth, into your stomach, digestive enzymes start to break down the food. Food enters your small intestines next, 4.5 meters, followed by your large intestine, 1.5 meters, and out the back for elimination. So you guys can screenshot this. This is a very important photo. They call it the alimentary canal, which is the food canal. And if you're taking notes, what you eat through your mouth must go out the back as elimination. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not, oh, I ate something and then I don't have bowel movements. And then when I do have a bowel movement, it comes out as little sheep pellets. Horrible. We need to resolve this immediately. Taking a quick look at the search volume for constipation, this keyword is basically undefeated. What I'm talking about that is the market expands year over year. There are people keying in chronic constipation, constipation relief, how to resolve constipation all over the world. Not just in the English language, in Spanish, in Russian, in Chinese, in Japanese, Korean, in Hindu. Okay, you got Portuguese, Tajik, Arabic. I don't care where you're from. People are keying in constipation all over the world. And if you're looking to help with people's health, this may be a great place to look at because this market is so wide and is so broad and so many people struggle with it year over year. And if you take a quick look at different Facebook pages on this topic, you will find hundreds of thousands of people in different Facebook groups struggling with chronic constipation. What we got to do is recognize that when we have chronic constipation, basically we have a lot of waste material trapped in our large intestine. You got to get the waste material out of the large intestine so you can go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. When elimination is incomplete, residues of old feces can build up in layers on the walls of the colon. As they putrefy, they can cause health problems, pain, and discomfort. Now I'm just going to check on some of my social media. Okay, so I'm doing a little bit of testing, broadcasting. You know how I do. But you guys can already see my Here we go. I forgot to hit live on my. If you're watching on my YouTube, I can see you. What you got to do is just got to put in your questions, and I'll get back to it later. I can share and maybe help answer some of your questions on these different platforms. I'm just going to go through the slides. Now, if you want to jump into the protocol, I have many other videos in a look, but this gives you a way for you to interact with me, and I want to share with you other problems that could come as a result of chronic constipation. Now I'm going to talk about toxic megacolon. Now, if you do not get this waste material out of the body, it's just going to continue to accumulate over time. Okay, a lot of people, they got all this trash stuck in their colon and they're putrefying, which means it's decaying and rotting. So not only is the waste material accumulating in your body, it gets worse and worse. Some people, they have to opt in for their surgery to completely remove the colon because it's become so stagnant. It basically died. Your colon died within you because it cannot get the waste material out. all this chronic inflammation continues to stack on, waste material is not going out. Well, all that waste material is going to find its way to exude and ooze through the rest of your body. Toxic megacolon is a life-threatening complication of inflammatory bowel diseases, IBD. These diseases can be painful and cause permanent damage to the large and small intestines. IBDs include ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, and infections caused by something, I can't read that. Toxic megacolon is characterized by swelling and dilation of the large intestine due to the inflammation and accumulation of large amount of gas. Oh, let me tell you, it's going to be more than just gas. All right, it's going to be actual waste material, the food that you ate, not going outside of the body. Taking a quick look, I want you guys to focus on the shape of this colon. Okay, this is the ascending portion, transverse, and it's going to go slightly up, okay, before it goes on this descend and out the back for elimination. Now, taking a quick look at this x-ray, this is a lady in Taiwan. She was only 23 years old. She was suffering from chronic constipation, discovers that her colon is severely displaced. What that means that is she's experiencing chronic constipation, and now the colon displaces itself and it begins to contort, begins to go in a different direction. Now, talking about this waste material coming up, this is the ascending portion. Instead of having that smooth, okay, going across the transverse, now it hooks to the upside. The colon's basically up in her lungs, pushing up against her lungs. She may have problem breathing. She may be experiencing other discomforts, and finally goes back down for elimination. Now, as she uses about her day walking around, right? If there's poop trapped inside this pipework here, now it's got to fight against gravity. It's trying to do the right thing, trying to get the poop up here, but it's trying to fight against gravity at the same time. A lot of problems. This is the reason why if you are experiencing any slight form of chronic constipation, you can't ignore it. You can't say, oh, I'll just deal with it. Or, looking at these YouTubers, and they say they don't use the bathroom for 5 days at a time, and this is how their body functions. Or I talk to my other girlfriends, they also have the same problem. And what they do is they might drink some coffee, they might do this and that to get that bowel movement going. But for some reason, the chronic constipation comes back. We gotta fix it. Here we have something called diverticulitis. And I'm learning all these different diseases. Here we have again, this is your large intestine, your colon, right? Over here, that's your appendix, connected to your small intestine. Thinking about your right side, it's coming up on your right side. So diverticulitis occurs when pouches called diverticula start to form in the GI tract and become inflamed and infected. This condition commonly occurs in Western population and can be seen in 10% of people over the age of 40 and 50% of people over 60. That's a lot of people. I'm talking about millions and millions of people over 60, and they have this condition. The rate of this disease typically increases with age. Scientists believe that this condition is due to not eating enough fibers. Not eating enough fiber leads to constipation, which puts extra pressure on the colon walls, and this causes diverticula or bulges to form in the weak areas of the colon. So one more time, the risk factors for this disease may include age over 40, male, overweight, eating a low fiber diet, eating a high fat and red meat, not enough exercise, taking non-steroidal, anti-inflammatory drugs like aspirin, ibuprofen, steroids, and opioids, and smoking. Moreover, the signs and symptoms of this condition include pain, tenderness in the left lower side of the abdomen, nausea, vomiting, chills, cramps in the lower abdomen, constipation or diarrhea, and rectal bleeding. We want to recognize these different types of problems before they happen. Maybe you're experiencing some of these problems already, and I'm going to give you some different tools that are out there that could be helpful on your journey. But I want to go through more of these problems that people are experiencing over here Ulcerative colitis, over here, this is inflammation in the colon. So they have symptoms of flare-ups followed by periods of remission without symptoms. Signs and symptoms include diarrhea, bloody stools, abdominal cramping, and weight loss treatment, including medication and surgery. So you got inflammation, all ups and downs. And what do doctors usually prescribe? They usually prescribe some corticosteroids, immunosuppressants, biologics. And what these medications do, they suppress the immune system. The problem is still there, okay? But you're not experiencing the signs and symptoms temporarily. Well, I want to help you guys get rid of the waste material, and maybe this will be a thing of the past, okay? But most of you, you can't not wait until you have ulcerative colitis. You cannot wait. You're dealing with diverticulitis. Here we have another IBD disease called Crohn's disease, inflammatory bowel disease. This condition occurs when there's inflammation in the small intestine and colon. The last two that we looked at is primarily in the colon, in the large intestine. This one is in the small and large intestines. What are some of the symptoms? Diarrhea, stomach aches and cramps, blood in the stools, tiredness or fatigue, and weight loss. It is thought to believe Crohn's disease is caused due to genes, a problem in the immune system, smoking, a previous stomach bug, and an abnormal balance of gut bacteria. So you got family history, smoking, antibiotics, birth control pill, anti-inflammatory drugs, aspirin, ibuprofen, high-fat diet. You can see when we are dealing with a lot of other, if you're smoking and you're taking these pain medications, they're going to have other side effects, okay? Now, I also want to share a little bit. This is uncomfortable topics, but I don't care. I'm going to share. A lot of people, they are sitting on the toilet too long, or they're trying to force that waste material out of their body. And as a result, they have something called rectal prolapse. When you get around old people, as I have in the past, I grew up with my grandfather, and his friends would come over, whatever, hang out with him. When I was young, I would recognize there's a certain smell to old people. Old people have particular smell, and you can look online and they'd say, oh, some type of a chemical reaction on their skin. Listen, old people smell like a slight hint of poop, because a lot of them, they're dealing with chronic constipation. When you're dealing with chronic constipation and you've been trying to force out that waste material, a lot of old people, they have rectal prolapse. They're dealing with rectal bleeding. And if you're dealing with this much waste material caked up in your large intestine, all that waste material is going to somehow find its way through the surface of your skin. It's going to exude, E-X-U-D-E, or it's going to ooze through the skin. And I believe that is definitely another root cause to this old people smell. Now, some people, they just have a terrible body odor even when they're young. And this has a lot to do with that as well. It doesn't matter if they shower properly, they put on the best colognes and perfumes, they still smell. There's just this revolting stench about them at all times. You get into their cars and it's the same smell. You get into their house, their clothes, it smells the same. It's absolutely revolting. And I think a lot of it has to do with digestive problems, constipation problems. Next, we have anal fissures. This is something that a lot of people deal with, and I would say this is also connected to hemorrhoids as well. All right, so anal fissures, once again, people are trying to push out that waste material. Maybe they're not even very spiritual, and all of a sudden, they're sitting on their toilet. They're praying to a deity. They never talked to God before. I'm talking very, very sincere prayers. Starting to make some deals with the Almighty. If you do this for me, I will do X, Y, or Z, right? And I used to do that myself. 5 years ago, I was dealing with chronic constipation myself. Then a couple years prior, I was experiencing early signs of hemorrhoids. And I knew I just kept sitting on that toilet and nothing was coming out, and so I was trying to force it out. You can twist and shout, you can beg and plead, you can huff and puff, and over time you're going to have these anal fissures. What is a fissure? By definition, it's a long, narrow opening or line breakage made by cracking or splitting, especially in rock or earth. Well, fissures can take place in your anus. Now, what are the causes? While several factors are thought to be linked to rectal prolapse, there's no clear-cut cause. An estimated 30 to 67% of patients have chronic constipation, infrequent stool, so severe straining, and an additional 50% with diarrhea. In the past, this condition was assumed to be linked to giving birth multiple times by vaginal delivery. However, as many as 35% of patients with rectal prolapse never gave birth, and it can occur in men. There might be some genetic predisposition to this condition. In other words, some patients are more prone based on their genes to develop this condition while others. You see how crazy this sounds? I'm telling y'all, a lot of this, your life will become better when you begin to get the waste material out of this body. This channel's about detox. What is detox? Detox getting the waste material, getting the toxins out of the body. I have many other videos regarding detox, ranging from getting the waste material out of the small and large intestines. We got content regarding internal parasites, another topic people often overlook. Then we have gallstones that may be trapped in the gallbladder. Gallstones can be flushed out naturally. You don't need to go to surgery. I've done it 42 times already. Next, you may have kidney stones lodging in your kidneys. And small little stones can also develop in the bladder. All that stuff can be flushed out. We're going to deal with it one at a time. Understanding your digestive system is almost like learning about plumbing. I want you to think about your body like plumbing. If your garbage disposal is not working properly, you're going to expect it to smell. It's going to stench. That rancid stench is going to pervade every inch of your house. You just open your doors, into your home, and there's this stench. Because the waste material, everything is clogged up in this pipe. It's either you fix it yourself or continue to deal with this problem. Okay? Or another thing you can look at for people that are more mechanically inclined. Your digestive system is a series of pipes. So is the plumbing system of your house. Now here's your toilet, right? Maybe you're on the first and second floor, you have some toilets. And then all this got to get flushed out into your sanitary sewer, into the storage system. If it does not get flushed out, let's just say children, sometimes they throw in their favorite toys and they flush it down and the parents don't know and they start using the bathroom and start to flush. Well, all that stuff starts to overflow. Just use that same analogy to your own body. Where's all the bad breath coming from? I got this friend, he has the worst smelling farts. When he farts, it destroys the whole coffee shop. Like the one that I'm in right now. It's absolutely revolting, disgusting. And he tells me he has digestive problems. That I would share this protocol with him, and most people will not listen to what I have to share because it's so outside their scope of awareness. They're like, because it's not on my radar screen, this is so foreign to me, I'm not going to be receptive. I highly recommend all of you to have a skeptical mind, but also have a receptive mind. There's a balance between that. If you're completely skeptical, you don't take any risks, right? And not taking any risk could be the biggest risk of your life. Let's talk about colon hydrotherapy. You got to do your own research regarding this. So what this is that they're going to clean out your large intestine. There are different colon hydrotherapists that may be in your area. You got to look them up. And I think their business is very solid because there are always people dealing with digestive problems. But a lot of people, they may be embarrassed. They're like, I don't want to do this. What's it all about? Tell me about it. So if you go to a colon hydrotherapist, they're going to have you lay down on this apparatus. It may look a little different than this, but overall, they're going to insert water through your back end, and this water is going to be about the same temperature as your body temperature. It's going to look like this. So you lay there, and they're going to put in water over here. They're going to start to loosen up that dead material that's been caked up in your large intestine for a very, very long time. And they want to kind of just ease that out of the colon. Many videos online you guys can look, YouTube shorts or even TikTok videos, different colon hydrotherapy centers, they're promoting their business, and you can actually see the waste material that exits out of the body. It's absolutely horrendous. You do not know how much trash is trapped inside your body. That's why your body continues to suffer with chronic inflammation, because the body doesn't know how to deal with that waste material. And we've been taught to always blame it on this, blame it on that, blame it on our genes, blame it on the environment. Well, there are things that you do not have control over. I'm teaching you how you can take control of this. And one of the tools that you can use is colon hydrotherapy. Now, I haven't tried this myself. Now, I have a different protocol, something that you drink down, which I will share in a few minutes. And that cleans out both the small and large intestines. What are the limitations of this? Okay, number one, this only cleans out the colon. It has nothing to do with your small intestines. As we discussed before, your small intestines is much, much longer, right? So colon hydrotherapy, put in hot water through here, start to get the waste material out of the colon, clean it out, but it has no chance of getting to your small intestines. From my understanding, it has no way. And this is for people, maybe you're just a few days chronically constipated, maybe 2 to 3 days. You want to start to consider doing a protocol like this. You cannot wait until you have a megacolon, a toxic megacolon, because there's a lot of risk if you do different protocols like this. For example, let's just say you do colon hydrotherapy, and you really need to communicate with the therapist, telling them, okay, how many days have you been chronically constipated? And really just mark it out on the calendar, what's going on. Is consistency, the colors, what have you been eating this whole time? All these things can be recorded so you can keep track of your bowel movements. If the colon hydrotherapist is very inexperienced, they don't know what they're doing, now they're putting in that water too quickly. Now you're dealing with perforations in the large intestines. I'm talking about your large intestines somehow break, right? And now you got all this poop that is flooding your bowel cavity. You may go into septic shock, and you might be in lithium, in a few hours. I'm not joking. There is a risk if you do different protocols such as this, and there's risk if you do absolutely nothing. So what are you going to do? You have to decide. You have to be your best advocate. You have to chart out the best course for you. I'm just going to check on my social media a little bit, and if you have questions regarding what I've been sharing so far, just put it in the comments. I'm broadcasting on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, and then also Facebook, also Twitch. Maybe some of you guys are on Twitch. You can also leave a comment for me and just tell me what are you dealing with right now? What are you struggling with in regards to your digestive health? And maybe you can go some additional information that can help you on your journey. So there's a lot going on right here. But I just want to thank you for jumping on the call. I'd love to connect with you and get to learn more about, what you're working on in regards to your personal health. Alright, here you go. This is important. This is called the Salt-Flush Protocol. This is not an enema, and I've been doing this protocol for over 5 years. 5 years. And I taught hundreds of other people how to do this protocol so they begin to get their waste material out of their small and large intestines. The ingredients are very simple. You need apple cider vinegar without any sugar added. Next, you need to buy some citrus fruits. You can choose between limes, lemons, or grapefruit. I've been using grapefruit for the last few years, and it tastes great. Next, you're going to buy some pink salt. You can use pink salt or food-grade Epsom salt. Just keeping it simple. Use pink salt or food-grade Epsom salt. Some people, you guys may be worried about the sodium content. Epsom salt does not have any sodium. Next, you have a little bit of black coffee. This is completely optional. These are the directions. The night before, you're finishing dinner around 7:30 p.m. And you're not eating any late night snacks. You can still drink liquids, but do not eat any late night snacks. The next morning around 11 a.m. on an empty stomach, you want to make this in a stainless steel thermos. So get yourself a stainless steel thermos that has a volume over 1 liter, 1000 cc. You're going to mix all these ingredients in. You're going to add 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of pink salt or food-grade Epsom salt. So that's 25 milliliters total. I want you guys to be exact with this, and you want to make sure these measuring spoons, they tell you how many milliliters you're working with. So it's 25 ml. Next, you're going to cut and squeeze 3 lemons or limes, or use 1 grapefruit. You're extracting the juices only, no pulp. So you can find some slides that could be very helpful. I was showing people this is what you need, alright? You need a bottle of water here. You need a stainless steel thermos. You need another stainless steel mug for your coffee. This is optional. If you don't get the coffee, that's perfectly fine. This is a metal mesh strainer, single press squeezer. This is a 1/4 cup, which is 60 ml. And then you have measuring spoons. So the tablespoon is 15 ml, and the teaspoon is 5 ml. So you're going to use 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of pink salt or food-grade Epsom salt. You guys can screenshot this so you know exactly what to get later when you go to the store. You're going to add 2.5 cups of hot water into the stainless steel thermos and begin to stir very thoroughly. You want to make sure all the salt dissolves evenly in the stainless steel thermos. Stir, stir, stir. You can stir for 30 to 40 seconds. Then you're going to add another cup of room temperature water to kind of bring back down the temperature of the Salt-Flush solution. When you first start drinking this, it may be too hot, so do not drink it right away. Let it sit, but do not let it sit so long that it becomes cool. There's got to be some temperature to this. It's not going to be boiling hot, okay? But it's going to be some temperature, so when you drink this, you might feel yourself sweat. Okay, that's how it works. Hot expands, cold contracts. I want your small and large intestines to expand a little bit, so it's going to expand and also clean out this pipework. Bottled water, this is about 2 liters. Salt-Flush solution already prepared. And you have black coffee, this is completely optional. You don't need to drink it. And a lot of people may find this recipe online, but I'm going to teach you guys how to drink this so you have a higher chance of success. Your goal is to finish the Salt-Flush solution first. So let me go through it with you, how to drink it. You're going to sip on the bottled water, hold it in your mouth. Just a tiny bit of water, hold it in your mouth. And you're going to take a bigger gulp of the Salt-Flush solution and drink it down. Now, if you do not like the taste of Salt-Flush solution, you can use a stainless steel straw and to help you avoid that taste. I've been drinking it for so long, so it doesn't bother me anymore. And you can sip on a little bit of black coffee. You're not drinking on black coffee. You're just sipping on it because it's going to help you motivate to go through this process again because you're repeating steps 1 through 3. sipping on the bottled water, just a tiny bit, tiny. Then you're going to take a bigger gulp of the salt-flush solution, drink it down. Then sip on a little bit of black coffee to kind of reward yourself to go through this process again. But your goal is to finish the salt-flush solution first, so that it can begin to work its way through the small and large intestines, begin cleaning it out, so to produce an incredible laxative effect. That's the goal. Our goal is to clean the small and large intestines combined. Okay, and this protocol will help you do that. And what you're going to experience is that be as relaxed as possible. Guys, when you just practice deep breathing and really set aside any expectations. A lot of times people are stressed or they're drinking it so quickly. I'm like, why are you drinking it so quickly? They think that it's a race. So some people, they might throw up in that process. They throw up and they feel very uncomfortable. I want you guys to gradually drink this down. And before you even start doing this whole process, just get into a very relaxed meditative state. Listen to classical music, Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto 2, Movement 2 on repeat. It's going to help your body relax. And when you're breathing, you have to feel your stomach kind of go up and down, up and down. And that's going to relax the whole body to allow this solution to go through your body. And, give it enough time, you're going to experience some solids to come out, and you're going to the bathroom. And I just want you to be as relaxed as possible. You're never pushing anything out. Okay, you may do some light stretching. Okay, you may just walk around. And if you have the unction to go to the bathroom, then go. And what you're going to realize is that you're going to start getting a lot of waste material out like you've never seen before. Especially if you're constipated. They might come out in different colors you've never seen before. It might come out pitch black because a lot of it is just hardened fecal matter that's accumulated in the large intestine. Over time, you'll realize that this solution is actually really getting through the small intestine and now becomes softer and softer. You're going to see and experience that the poop becomes softer and softer. And when it gets really, really soft, I want you to pound on this water to add more water pressure so you can create a laxative effect. Moreover, it's going to be like a diarrhea tsunami. And the smell of this is going to be absolutely horrendous. Just, you want to make sure that your fans are on, your window is open, ventilation is good, and warn your loved ones in advance because the smell of this, it is beyond. It's just kind of like when you're driving on the highway, minding your own business, and you can smell somebody ran over a skunk. I can guarantee you this is going to smell worse than that because you have so much waste material trapped inside this pipework, not just in the colon, but also in the small intestine. The small intestine has a surface area of a football field. Thinking about all the years of eating you've eaten, and layers of waste material, and also including microplastics that's just in your small intestines now. We got to get all that trash out of the way. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. I've been doing this over 5 years. I've taught hundreds of other people how to do this protocol. And some people, they've already adopted it as part of their weekly routine. That's what they do on a weekly basis. And that's what I do. I still do this on a weekly basis. Detox is something that you do on a regular basis, just like you brush your teeth every day, okay? Now you shower, right, regularly, right? You wash your hair. Well, you gotta find the type of routine for your body on the inside because it's kind of like maintenance. You're doing some maintenance for your organs on the inside, cleaning it out. And after I do this salt-flush protocol, cleaning out the small, large intestines, I recoat it back up with some probiotics. Now, you don't have to use any of these. Just find something that works for you, something that's compatible with your body. I try some different supplements, cheap ones, expensive ones. The favorite ones that I still use right now are the least expensive ones. So find something that works for you. So I'm going to come back to my channel, look at people have any questions. If you have any questions, type in your questions. Sometimes the computer's moving a little bit slow. Just be patient with me. Yeah, just get interactive in here. Be very helpful in your personal health journey, because many people are all around the world are struggling with chronic constipation. And I'm just sharing you with some tools that could be helpful on your journey. And none of this professional medical advice, diagnosis or treatment, just information that you need to continue to do research for yourself and really ask yourself, does this make sense? Okay, am I experiencing chronic constipation now? And how do I fix it moving forward? Because just like John shared, if you do not fix it, problems do not just go away. They don't just go away. They're going to get progressively worse until you decide, okay, maybe there's something that I can do to turn this thing around. And I don't really care which product or protocols that you use. Just find something, because that waste tutorial is going to cause so much problems for you. Like I talked about in the beginning of this presentation, doctors are always saying, oh, what is the cause of this? It could be in your genes. You have a certain predisposition. Listen, this is obviously waste material not moving out of your body. So you end up with a toxic megacolon. Why is this colon severely displaced? Once again, it's chronic constipation. They tell you suffering from chronic constipation discovers her colon severely displaced. Diverticulitis. What if you have trash that is sitting in your large intestine, not going out? That waste material begins to exude, begins to ooze, causing inflammation. What else do we have? Ulcerative colitis, right? What else do we have? Crohn's disease. What else do we have? Rectal prolapse. What else do we have? Anal fissures. And next time when I do this, talk about hemorrhoids, because hemorrhoids, it is also one of these keywords that people are struggling with day in and day out. There's so many different advertisements for it. Now, most people, they'll just say, oh, you need to have that surgery and get a hemorrhoid surgery. I'm like, what is the root of this problem? Because if you don't resolve the root of the problem, you continue to experience chronic constipation. Hemorrhoids are going to come back because you're going to continue to have problems getting the waste out of your body. You're going to be sitting on that toilet, begging and pleading, praying to God. Now, I highly recommend you guys to look into Squatty Potty. You don't have to buy this. You have to find something that works for you. So what they do is that they sell a little stool that you can put your feet on, okay? And when you're using the bathroom, it is very unnatural for you to use that 90 degree. Before this modern toilet, everyone squatted, okay? Because people were just using the bathroom, in nature, everyone squatted using the bathroom. And all of a sudden, you have this modern toilet, people are using the 90 degree, and many people are dealing with chronic constipation sitting on the 90 degree. So what is a squatty potty? It's a convenient, sturdy structure engineered to mirror the angle and efficiency of natural squatting, while allowing for the luxury and comfort of your own toilet. Okay, I'm going to give you guys another tool. Okay, what you want to do, you want to lift the toilet seat up and use the toilet. You want to just lift it up. You can clean the toilet and just sit directly on the toilet, because it's going to give you even a much better angle. You guys can try that. I've been doing that for years and years, so everything just comes out very, very quickly. It's just, you don't have to sit on the toilet for very long. You're there with, you're in and out, and you're out and do whatever you need to do later on throughout your day. What we want to do is start to educate ourselves on these different topics, educate ourselves on human physiology, educate ourselves on all their different protocols that are out there. And there could be information off my radar screen right now that is causing this chronic constipation. Parasites causing constipation, I think this is a big risk. And I want to connect this topic back to a lot of these other problems that we're talking about before. People don't look into internal parasites at all. So I have a presentation I did a couple days ago, you guys can look up. But I still want to go through just some broad strokes. Over here, the 4 major parasites you guys need to look up and also study their life cycle. Number 1, liver flukes. Number 2, pinworms. Number 3, tapeworms. Number 4, roundworms. Now, a lot of people never even heard what a liver fluke, okay? They are in cows, they're in sheep. Study their life cycle. Their eggs, they hatch in water. And over time, they're going to start to attack a small intermediate host. One thing that you learn about parasites is that they always work their way up the food chain. They're very, very good at 2 things. They're very good at survival and replication. They grow to a certain size and they exit the intermediate host and they find themselves inside of the vegetation. Well, the cow or the sheep that go there and eat this vegetation, now this liver fluke is inside of them. This is a big problem for anybody in the cattle ranching business. You guys can look up. Treatment of liver fluke in cattle and sheep this winter, something they have to deal with year in, year out. So they realize that these liver flukes are very, very problematic and their livestock are getting sick unless they start to take some medications. You know, they're going to be sick and they might die. Now, they also attack human beings because many people around the world were eating a lot of undercooked meats. Not only undercooked meats, people are eating rare steaks, steak tartars, which is undercooked meats. Or if you're eating hot pot here in Asia, they give you a time limit, so you're always rushing through your meals. As you do that, you're going to increase the risk of parasitic infections. Now, here we have another parasite. It's called the tapeworm. Tapeworms are very problematic. These are the suckers. Kind of stabilizes them to your small and large intestines. The rostellum, this is the part that hooks onto your body, and this is how they extract the resources out of your body. When you have a very stagnant colon full of trash, no waste of throws going out, that's the type of environment parasites love. They love to thrive in that kind of nasty ass environment. Now, there are many different types of parasites. You can get them from pork, get them from beef. Okay, there are different beef tapeworms, pork tapeworms, and also fish tapeworms. This is another reason why I want you guys to look into the different life cycles. Now, maybe 20 years ago, sushi, sashimi wasn't very popular, but now it's very, very popular all over the world. People love to eat it, and people recommend it. And there are all-you-can-eat sushi places that serve this. Well, let me tell a little bit about their anatomy. This is the head portion, the rostellum, is sucking the life force out of you. And over here, you have these grids. They're called progotids. The progotids, each one of these can hold 100,000 eggs. 100,000. The tapeworm is a hermaphrodite. It can reproduce on its own, all day, every day. So over here, taking in your nutrients, and over here, replication. That's how it works. And if you're dealing with a tapeworm that's got 1,000 progotids, you multiply that by 100,000, you're dealing with 100 million eggs. And that's going to put a lot more stress on your body. You do have white blood cells. White blood cells can triage. Very, very small parasites. Unfortunately, a lot of people are taking immunosuppressants, corticosteroids, and that means your immune system is not going to work. That's how I interpret that. Over here, we got people in Thailand. 59 feet long tapeworm removed from Thai man's rectum. This pic went viral. 59 feet is roughly 18 meters. Okay, we talked about how the floor to the basketball rim is 3 meters, roughly 3 meters. Now we're talking 6 of those. Imagine 6 NBA basketball hoops. Okay, one after the next, one after the next. And that's what 18 meters is. 6 NBA basketball hoops. And they pull this thing out of his ass. Your pet carries a lot of risk when it comes to parasitic infections. Here we have a cat over here, and they're pulling that tapeworm out of this cat. Even the cat is freaking scared. Over here we have a American bully full of worms. And here we have another cat. They're extracting some type of parasite. This could be a botfly. That is very, very common in Africa. And botflies can also attack human beings. Every single day you can learn a new parasite. You have to know your enemy. Then you can know how to deal with them properly. Okay? But most people, this is not even on their radar screen. Now I'm going to connect this to other problems you may experience. Because chronic constipation, okay? Now you got internal parasites. We also talked about anal fissures, rectal bleeding, hemorrhoids, and parasites will take that opportunity to go inside your body, into other parts of your body. Because parasites are so amazing at just consuming you, they're not just going to stay in the small and large intestines. Some of them, they can go outside the digestive tract and begin to consume your internal organs, such as your liver, such as your pancreas, consume them one by one. Did you guys know that? I'm still learning. There are specific parasites that can attack your kidneys. For example, this parasite right here. So once again, the egg hatch in a water environment, and the eggs could be ingested by intermediary hosts. Over here, they continue to grow, and the frog or this fish, they eat the worm up the food chain, and over here, they may get captured by human beings, right? Ends up on a dish. Or people eat frogs in Asia. I don't know other places, but people definitely eat frogs here. And some of the people, they don't really cook their meats. And now this parasite's inside of you. And this parasites love to target the kidneys. Now your kidneys are fucked because of parasites. So let me just go through some of my comments. I have any questions. People are watching this. If you have questions regarding what I'm sharing today, just type in your questions. Don't be shy. And the key word is called zoonotic diseases. Zoonotic diseases are diseases that can transfer from your animals to human beings. One of the risks that people often overlook is simply their cats and dogs. A lot of people have cats and dogs, and they're very, very close to them. They love to take photos with them, a lot of cute Instagram photos. Now, I don't recommend it because pets, they have so many parasites, and you're basically taking in parasites when you do this, when you have interactions like this. And over time, you know, you're developing all these different symptoms. It could be digestive problems. It could be this, it could be that. Now, most doctors do not look into parasites. They don't know how to, most doctors do not look into parasites. And that's why people continue to suffer. If you don't want to be like that, then you want to open up your mind and be a little bit more receptive. Be like, okay, maybe there's something here. Who is John? I don't know this random guy on YouTube. Just another regular guy. I'm just another regular guy. I'm telling you guys, I'm not a doctor. So none of this professional medical advice, science, or treatment. I'm just asking y'all to do the research for yourself. The risk is out there. Until you start to look into this, and especially a lot of you, you're on the travel bug. You're watching YouTube videos, seeing young people continue to travel, making YouTube. When you travel to different parts of the world, depends on where you go. A lot of their water is contaminated with parasites. Until you have the proper mindset, you have the presence of mind, hey, if you are off in the jungle somewhere, okay, you're in the jungles of Indonesia, in Cambodia, you're in Vietnam, in the middle of nowhere, and you have to gather local water. Do you know how to filter that water for yourself? Do you know how to distill water? If you don't, you may be ingesting parasites that's in the untreated water. And you're going to come back home very, very sick. And you might go to the ER, right? And once again, doctors don't look into this, so you have to be more proactive. And people are getting fancier and fancier, eating the rare steaks, okay, eating hot pot, eating steak tartare, eating sashimi. Now, we talked about how parasites can also end up on vegetation, right? Such as the liver fluke. If you don't take care of this, they're going to go outside your body and start to attack different parts of your organs. Cysticercosis could end up in the liver. So what is cysticercosis? It's an infection of the larval stage of pork tapeworm. Okay. And cysticercosis can also take place in the brain. They call it neurocysticercosis. People are going to the hospital, epileptic seizures, different headaches. Most people don't look into it. We'll finally do some type of a scan. The MRI shows that, look, you have neurocysticercosis. You got worms in your brain, full of it. So now you got to get treatment for this. So I want you guys, because I know people like to travel and they want to experience, right? So I want to go experience, do all this stuff. There is a lot of food you don't want to just risk your life with. And for example, there are a lot of dishes in Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia. They're using raw blood in their dishes. And some people that end up, they can see the worm on the surface of their skin. Do you really want to go through all that? Or you can just don't even eat that, right? Pinworms are very common. So if you see a young child scratching it behind, or if you see an adult scratching it behind, or if you are scratching your behind, and even though you wipe very clean, and it's a rash that is very, very persistent, like right about when you go to bed, and it just gets worse and worse, right? And now you are experiencing not just the rash, but you scratch it so many times, it's become inflamed. The skin has become very inflamed. You may have pinworms. The risks are there, okay? Some people, they wait. The problem is so severe. For example, these are roundworms being extracted out of the colon. It's gotten that bad. It's coming out like spaghetti. So people are experiencing stomach cramps and pain, nausea, unexplained weight gain or weight loss, swollen lymph nodes, digestive problems including constipation, diarrhea, persistent gas. You get rashes, eczema, hives, and itching. Can you guys see all this stuff? All that parasites could be connected to all the other conditions I shared before earlier. For example, diverticulitis. Okay, if you got that many worms stuck inside the colon, and if you're not having proper bowel movements, don't you think that's going to cause additional inflammation? Ulcerative colitis. Could parasites be a cause? on top of chronic constipation, right? I'm just trying to connect the dots together. Of course, not professional medical advice. Crohn's disease. Has anybody really talked about the parasite connection to Crohn's disease? And these are just the after effects, right? We're looking at the symptoms over here. The rectal prolapse, the anal fissures, the hemorrhoids. You got to go upstream. What is the root cause of this? Well, two of them could be, all right, not having proper bowel movements on a consistent basis, and overlooking the possibility of internal parasites. Now, I have a whole separate presentation dealing with parasites, different types of herbs that can help you get rid of these worms. These are some of them you guys can look into, right? You got wormwood, clove bud. This is mebendazole. Different types of tinctures. This one's using black walnut and wormwood. Once again, mebendazole. Panicure C, this is for your pets. There's also feline dewormers you could get for your cats. These are more prescription strength. You have to evaluate them one by one and work with your naturopathic doctor, integrative medicine, or someone that you can trust, someone that is experienced with detoxing. This language that I'm talking about, the language of detoxing. I'm not going to tell you, oh, the reason why you're experiencing this is because you're missing this vitamin. You're missing that mineral. Go buy a whole bunch of supplements on Amazon and just continue to pound away with your supplements. It doesn't make any sense. We need to get the waste material out, restore the body functions so they can really assimilate the healthy foods. Okay. Also, there are some essential oils, different herbs out there that can help eliminate parasites. And this is not something you only do one time. There are different anti-parasite medications, and most of them, they only can target the adult parasites. Do you guys understand? Because parasites, they also grow in stages, right? So some parasites, they can eliminate only the adults. But if you still have other parasite eggs in your system, they continue to hatch. So this is a process. Not only are you going to eliminate parasites for a good season, and I don't know what that season is going to be for each individual. You guys are going to have to decide for yourself. But there's going to be protocols that are involved. So let's just say if you take these different meds or herbal blends, you still need a way to flush out the dead parasites out of your body. And one of the ways that I've been doing is using my self-flush protocol, which I explained here earlier in this video. Because a lot of people say, oh, I heard about parasites. I'm just going to start using these medications, using these herbs. Well, they feel so awful afterwards because they never, you got to deal with problems one at a time. So deal with chronic constipation first, then deal with parasites. Because once you take the medications or herbal blends, you have the confidence of flushing out the dead carcasses out of your body. Where the dead carcass is trapped, they're trapped inside the small and large intestines. So everything is a process, right? You gotta have the confidence of, I know how to get the waste material out. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. And when you can do that, you have confidence, you have optimism for the future. Because everything becomes lighter. You feel lighter. You have more mental clarity. And I'm very grateful that I learned about this protocol. I've been very consistent with it over the last 5+ years. And I've coached hundreds of other people. And I want you guys to take a quick look at my program. This program only deals with cleaning out the small and large intestines, followed by getting rid of the internal parasites. So if you guys want to work with me, you guys can get my program. Now, I also have coaching calls, or if you want to work with me one-on-one, I have a separate package for that. Right, so this is me before. It's me back in San Diego, and I had this belly that would not go away. Even though I was at the gym, had a personal trainer, working out very hard, trying to eat right, still not getting results. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat that I was. Over here, once again, I developed this belly. My face was completely inflamed, could not sleep properly. So over here, this is me basically throughout the whole year. 6-pack abs. Even without working super hard at the gym. I work out, but I just work out, you know, running around outside, and I have some weights at home. I'm not at the gym. I know how to exercise. And that has really helped me to regain back my personal health. So let me just spin through some of my So what have we talked about today? We cover a lot of content, cover a lot about digestive health. We also went over many common problems people are dealing with regarding the digestive health. And we are looking at, okay, what is the root cause? Today we identified 2 potential problems. It's the chronic constipation, it's the internal parasites that's causing the chronic inflammation, and get that waste material out. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm going to leave a link in the comments. You guys can check out my program. You can send me a DM in my Instagram if any other questions, and look forward to hearing from you. I'll talk to you soon.